Hello, audience. I heard the music stop, so I'm guessing that we are live. Am I prepared? Sure. Somewhat, kind of. Mind your business. Um, because I'm getting Instagram on it. Hello, Tickety Tockety. You have been with me for 10 minutes before the show, which is beautiful, and I love that for us. So, we're getting the Instagram on here. Hello. Press go live, girl. Is it gonna let me? Hello. Yes, it is. All right. Hello, familia. How are you today? This is a beautiful, gorgeous Monday afternoon. It's 12 p.m. where I am. And if you don't know me yet, welcome. My name is Tenille Stewart. I help women who have been diagnosed with lupus go from confused and discouraged to healed, hopeful, and in control of the medical narrative. And with that, I also talk about a lot of chronic illness, different types of chronic illness, things that people don't think about. Can you see me? Okay, now we can see me. Hello, my people. Bren, Sonia, Jonathan, Bajan Shinobi, aka Jermaine. Hello, I love you. Thank you for being here. Okay, so things that we don't always think about being chronic illnesses, or like, oh gosh, I have music playing in the background. Look at me. That's not what it's supposed to be. I don't want to be in trouble with any of the platforms. No music, nothing. No music. Okay, anyway. Yes. So things that you don't think about, especially I never thought about. I am a daughter. I am a granddaughter. I'm a great granddaughter, and I kind of didn't think about my old people getting old. You know, like I've always called them my old people. Since I was little, mother, father, grandparents, and the such. I just thought they were always going to take care of me, and especially being that I had a chronic illness. So got diagnosed with lupus at 19 and, been getting taken care of since. My family rallied around me and really took on the challenge, and I was grateful. I still am grateful because it happens from time to time that things happen from time to time. And now I'm in the opposite situation, which I did not expect to be. My grandmother has dementia, Alzheimer's dementia, and we take care of her. It is the most challenging thing. I had no idea how challenging it would be. And with that, I found community in Facebook pages and that kind of stuff. And recently found out that a great friend of mine is in a very similar situation. So I asked her if she would come talk to us about how that is going. She is one of the most caring people I've ever met. She's just super sweet, comforting. Listening to her speak is just like a warm blanket. I love to tune into her podcast on Thursdays. She is just so certain about what she says. And I am so joyful every time I get to see her. I see her in person about maybe 4 times a year at events for our business. And she's just wonderful. And I'm so excited to have you meet her and know about everything she has going on besides being the caretaker, the powerhouse caretaker that she is, because she really cares deeply for her family. I would like you to meet Yolando Cooksey.
Hey, good morning, or afternoon where you are, since I'm 3 hours behind you.
Oh, thank you so much. I've been waking you up in all kinds of early times. I'm so sorry. I'm so grateful. Okay, so Yolando, who would you say you are? Introduce yourself to my people.
I am, and that's a very good question, as I changed it in midstream. But I would say that I am a passionate woman of God that truly cares about people. Like you said, I definitely care about family. Family is a passion of mine. I have gone through numerous trials in my life that have helped me to be more passionate about what I'm doing now. And
Mm,
that is basically to not only acknowledge who God is and make him known and to let other people know that he's real, but
mm.
also to be more proactive in my life and really help to, I would say, turn some generational trauma and, be have open, honest, and vulnerable conversations about things that we don't normally want to talk about. Like
Yeah.
it's time for us to start healing. I'm a big advocate of healing because healing is necessary in order for us to move forward. And that is definitely something that I'm extremely passionate about. Healing is very important. And it all begins with the mind. As I am a mindset and health and nutrition life coach, everything begins with a thought. How
Hmm.
you think is how your brain receives it, and then how your brain tells your body, and your body behaves by that thought. And so, really, for us to take a look at our thoughts, our our negative thinking pattern, how do we overcome that? How do we change that? That's really a focus of mine.
What did you hear? Did you hear? Hello. Did you not feel like that was therapy and it was just her telling us who she is and what she does? It's just so good. It's so good. So, um, we just found out recently about your mother's diagnosis, but um, when did you realize something was going on that you needed to address?
It was July of 2022, I want to say. COVID changed a lot of things for all of us.
Hmm.
And a lot of us, especially our elderly, were in periods of isolation, those that lived alone, and it wasn't, some always a good time for them. So after that period of time was over, I came up for the 4th of July, and that's when I noticed some things were off, like the repeated questions or the driving, different things. I'm like, things seem to be a little bit off, and the more increased irritability, changes in the mood swings, all of these different things that never really thought about it. But when I saw that, I was like, this isn't like normal. This, something seems to be a little bit off. And then at this time, she was having another medical emergency. So we were trying to, work on dealing with that as well. She is a cancer survivor. And so, there was a lot going on, but the mental part is what I really, kind of started to take a look at, like, wait, something is not right. It's different. And so as I continue to be around and come up more, because she lives actually 2 hours away from me. And
Wow.
so, yeah, it was a challenge because I'm 2 hours away. My family and my grandkids are, live where I live. And so it was challenging. So I would come up and, stay for a weekend or stay for a week. And as I started spending more time here, then that's when I started to see more of what my suspicion was. And so
Mm.
I started going to doctor appointments with her, and then finally discovered that there, have been a diagnosis given.
Wow. Okay. So was it you have siblings and stuff, right? Like you have other people
I
in your
have
family.
one sibling, my brother, yes.
So are they living in the same town as your mother, or is it just you? I mean, you're not
Uh,
related.
no, he lives about 15, 20 minutes from me. But everybody has their own trauma
Mhm.
and different things that they've gone through. Um, I'm just being open and honest here. I feel that the main reason why I'm able to do what I do is because God healed me from a lot
Mm.
of emotional trauma that happened to myself and to my brother as a child.
Wow.
And, sometimes it takes, everybody's different. Everybody doesn't respond to healing for trauma. Everybody doesn't want to be healed from trauma. And sometimes the trauma is so severe that and even if it's created in the mind, it's so severe that they're at a point where maybe they want to, they're better just being comfortable right where they are. And
Mhm.
so that relationship, that's their business. But for me, it's only us two, and I'm not just gonna leave her alone. And
Right.
so it's, yeah.
Wow.
It
See,
was
that's
like,
the
oh, you're
thing.
tag, you're it. No
Yeah.
permission.
Right. That it's like
No
you just
questions asked.
and whoever chooses, like you have to be the one to choose to pick up the slack for whatever else is going on, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
your mother had backup children, but you're it. My mother has no backup children. I'm it. My grandmother has 5 babies,
Mm-hmm.
and my mother is it. You know what I mean? So like that is, no matter like what you think you have going on, you need to have a plan B and a C and a D. Like you need to have
Mm-hmm.
lots of, because when you're getting older, you have no idea. People always think like, oh, I got it covered. Like I'm fine. Like I'll be taken care of by XYZ. You don't know. You do not know. So so you recently got the diagnosis, and how did that change the way that you're approaching this whole thing?
It changed the way that I'm approaching it. It was comforting to know that there was finally a diagnosis because for at least over a year we didn't know for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna be honest here. The doctors that she was going to at first, it was like, okay, can you like give an answer? And they're all guessing. Well, it could be this or it could be that. And it's like, okay, well, wait a minute. This is still continuing to happen. What's going on? You're the doctor. You're
Right.
supposed to know.
Right. I want to wear a T-shirt that says that. You're the doctor. Tell me something. Like,
Hello.
yeah.
And I like I said, I'm a strong believer in God, and so I just really started praying, and I was like, Lord, send us somebody who can give us an answer. And he connected her with a doctor that is an internal medicine doctor that specializes in geriatrics. And it was just amazing how he communicated with her. The other doctors did not treat her, as if she were still human, as if she still had emotions and feelings. And that's a huge part when a loved one is given a diagnosis of dementia, as dementia is not a specific disease. There's a variety of specific, like Alzheimer's is a specific dementia disease. The prefrontal dementia, those are specifics, but dementia is a wide variety, and basically it's just damage to the brain cells, whether it's through generational, genetics, whether it's through medication, whether it's through some type of cancer or something that has caused harm, damage to the brain.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it was like, you guys have to learn how to talk to these people because they still have feeling, they still have emotions, they still can think.
Like,
But they have and you have to look at it from their point of view. Well, they're going through something, and my mom has been, on her own for quite a while, so she's used to taking care of herself. She's used to, very vibrant, going to the gym, doing different things. And now you're in a position where you're aware of what's happening, but you have no control over it.
right.
And so that fear, that embarrassment, not wanting other people to know or trying to hide it for fear of what's going to be taken away.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are huge things that, they have to deal with. And as a caregiver, it's challenging too, because especially when it gets to the point where there's like minimal rational thought or the decision making, problem solving, and you think you're, having a conversation with a rational thought person, and it's like, no, that's not what's happening. Mm-hmm. And you have to respond to them in different ways, and you have to learn how to speak to them and how not to, make them feel worse than they already feel.
Right.
And so it is that diagnosis is something that's emotional for the entire family. And me personally, I just thank God for one that I had. My cousin had gone through it, and I forgot the book. I was gonna hold the book up, but it's this book called The 36-Hour Day. And it's written by it's written by psychologists. That book literally changed my life because it helped me maneuver through the emotions, through the different stages, through making sure that legal, things were done, her affairs were in order, the durable power of attorney, and different things that were going to be happening. And then I had a couple of close friends that had recently, dealt with the situation, and so they have been there for me. Like you said, that community was definitely necessary to because at the beginning, it felt like I was losing my mind. Like, am I?
Oh my God! It's so good to be able to relate because when my grandmother before she got diagnosed pretty recently, but she's been going through this for years, and I knew something was wrong years ago. I took her on a $69 cruise from the old company, and she was so confused everywhere, and it was very weird. Like, she's usually good with directions. We lived in New York, so took the bus and the train to work all the time by herself and was fine. Could not find her way around this ship. And I was like, who is this? Where is my grandmother? Because she usually has such a good sense of direction. So none of my family believed me. The doctors didn't believe me. And they thought they had some kind of angle that I wanted money from her, that I was trying to do something. It was outrageous, the amount of people that did not believe me and treated my grandmother like trash. Let me go and talk about some of the comments. So, people were welcoming you in. Beijing Shinobi, Jermaine said, welcome. Always asking for greatness. Sonia said, great morning. Bren said, Win with Bren said, let's go, icon. Good afternoon, ladies from Stay Sexy Wellness. Always destined for greatness said, hello, Yolando Cooksey. Not afraid with this. Jonathan said, yes, superpower podcast today. Love y'all. Thank you for caring about the generation that brought us up to be so strong. Y'all, fire queens. Critical focus. Yes. You brought this out. I always wonder, what's the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's? Okay, yeah, there's a bunch of different kinds. There's Lewy body. There's alcohol caused dementia. There's cancer caused dementia. There's a lot of different kinds if you look that up. Went through with my abuelita, said, always asking for greatness. The 36-hour day, I've never heard of also, Sonia. I'm about to pick it up. Things have changed with medical diagnosis since 2017. I was told autopsy is distinguished. Oh, no, absolutely not.
Well, there is a stigma around it, and that's the reason why a lot of people, especially in African American culture, don't get help, because they think that it's a weakness, and it's not the person personally. It's a disease, and that's the whole thing as a caregiver, keeping that focus that it's not the person, it's the illness. Right. And another thing I learned was that how the person was prior to the illness is how it'll either be escalated or more increased after the diagnosis. Right. And so they were kind and compassionate before. Yes, they will be more kind and compassionate. However, if they were resistant, rigid, certain behaviors, they're going to be resistant and like that after. And so that can be hard to deal with as well.
Right. And it's got to be scary. I always remind myself that, because like my grandmother has trouble just like walking into rooms. Like I take her to the bathroom and she's like scared to step, and she's like looking and looking. Imagine waking up in a body, not knowing who you are, where you are, what everything is around you, and you just have to function in the world. It's going to be terrifying. And imagine
yes,
on that like heightened sense of terror all day long. You're not sure of anything. You're sure of something for a minute and forget in another minute. Like, it's got to be terrifying. So like, I am very mindful of, like, sometimes, you want to get mad. You want to be like, don't do this. Why are you doing that? Blah, blah, blah. I remember, like, it's got to be really scary in there. Like, her brain is not doing what she would
wants it to do. Yes.
Yeah. And it's embarrassing because, like, my grandmother was also super, like, vibrant, very, like, funny and exciting, and, like, wanted to go do things and, be amongst people. And now she doesn't know who anyone is, and it's scary. So, like, I completely see how, it's easy to want to fly off the handle at somebody who is, like, forgetting so much, or, like, they're easily agitated because they're scared and that kind of thing. So, like, being a caretaker. So where do you find your like places to lean, or like what do you look to when you get nervous or confused about something that's going on with your mother?
First thing is prayer. I stay on my knees a lot.
Amen.
Because
every day, all day.
I know that me in my flesh dealing with this, it's been like, peace, I'm done. I'm out. I gotta go. Okay. But I understand that this is more than just about me. And
Mm-hmm.
I also look at the Bible speaks how we treat other people is how we will be treated. And I know I'm turning 65 this year. I have two sons, and
Ooh,
I'm like, dude, look, if the Lord blesses me to live to 90 years old, y'all better take care of me. Don't be putting me
amen.
away.
Yes, you
And
got those good genes.
exactly, because well, thank you. But we really have to stop and think about how we're treating everybody, and that's the thing. I have to catch my breath. Sometimes it gets so heated to where I go like, okay, well, I'll be right back, and I have to go for a drive. I have to get out the house. I'll
Mm-hmm.
have because I'm trying to help with something, and she doesn't want help and doesn't understand that she needs help, and so
Mm-hmm.
the clash happens, and the paranoia, and different things that are going on, and it's like, okay, I need a break. Like I said, I've called my girlfriends. I'll be like, hey, pray for me. It's a rough day today. I don't know, and I literally had I don't want to say it's a meltdown, but um, just a whole bunch of things going on in my life. And so this added to it got to the point where I was very overwhelmed. And I
Yeah.
did a video on Facebook, and some of the family members responded, and I was like, no, I'm not breaking down, because I'm
Yeah.
not quitting. I said, but it gets hard when I'm the only one,
Right.
the main one that's here. My god sister, who, thank God for her, she lives in San Leandro, but she's from Zimbabwe, so she's actually out of state right now. So that's who we play tag team, and can make some adjustments and different things so I can go home. But I'm actually going to be transitioning at the end of this month, because my son is moving out of state. My youngest son that lives with me, he's moving out of state, so it's like, ain't no need in paying $2,300 for an apartment that's going to be empty.
Right.
So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, if the Lord blesses me to be able to take care of my mom and for her to come and live with me, I am planning to buy a house back, because I live in Manteca, so, which is, like I said, 2 hours away. And it's on my heart to care for her, because she cared for me. Whether the emotional things that happened between us as a teenager or anything like that, her and my dad, they still provided for us. Had a roof over my head. I didn't want for anything, and they did the best that they knew how with what they had, how
Absolutely.
they were taught. And so a lot of times we want to do the blame game, and that I used to do that at the beginning, but
Mhm.
I've learned it's not so much about blaming anyone. It's like, okay, this is what we're dealing with right now. How do we fix or deal with this so that I don't go crazy? And
Right.
as a caregiver, you have to make time for yourself. Go
Great
get a
again.
pedicure, go
Hello.
get a manicure, go get a massage, go do something, because if you're 24/7 dealing with the illness, not the person, you're dealing with the illness, you're dealing with the
Mhm.
remnants from the illness, it will drive you crazy.
That
Or
part.
make you think that you are. And so it's really important that you take that time out, that you get cared, somebody to step in, or respite, or they have what they call the in-home care or something like that,
Right.
where
And
you
the
can get somebody to
daycare.
come on. Yes. So
Mhm.
definitely, as a caregiver, make sure that you make sure you're feeding yourself with positivity.
Mhm.
For me, I, doing my devotion in the morning, making sure that my mindset is straight before I even step out the room, because you never know, who you're going to encounter when you step out the room,
Right.
you
Right.
know, and
Right.
so it's like
What type of
personality you're going to be dealing
Mhm.
with.
Yeah, sometimes like sweet as pie. Sometimes you're like, who are you? What is happening? And it's all part of the disease. So I also have found that social media has helped a lot, because like coming into this, I thought I knew something. Like I knew what was portrayed on TV. I guess like I've never been
Mhm.
in this close of quarters with somebody who is suffering from dementia. So like I thought it was just kind of like, oh, you sort of just forget stuff, and like I don't know, like
Mhm.
it's a total change, and it's very different than what I assumed it would be. So I'm on Facebook pages, I'm on YouTube pages, I'm on different websites. I'm like, look at all the resources. So there's also a 24-hour line, Alzheimer's Foundation, alz.org. Is that what it is? I think that's what it is. alz.org. Make sure to go there and call if you need to call, because as wonderful as your person is who is suffering from this disease, sometimes they're not going to be so wonderful. And you might
Yeah.
have serious questions. How do I get them to eat when they've decided they don't want to eat? Or they forget how to pick things up or do things that would normally, or like something that really was concerning to me is giving grandma a shower. It's scary for me to do by myself. Like my mother will do it by herself, or I'll help her do it, or we will have someone come in to help me if I'm alone to do it, because I don't want to ever be the one to hurt her, or
Hmm.
she's skinny now, even though she eats, but the metabolism is different now because of
Yes.
worrying all the time, and she like shakes a little sometimes because she's like worrying because she's scared. So,
Hmm.
and she is on medication to help with that, but it, you know, I just don't want to ever be the one to accidentally drop her or hurt both of us
Right.
in the shower or what kind of things like that. So, that kind of stuff, you need to go ahead and call for assistance. Hey, Don Allen. Hey, Marianne Cadet. I'm so sorry I didn't get to say hi to y'all. Um, yes. So, if you were going to give advice to anybody who suspects that they're dealing with a loved one who has this kind of thing going on, what would your number one piece of advice be?
My number one piece of advice would be try to get them to the doctor. Because of the fear, because of the misunderstanding, and because, especially like I said, if they've been an older person who's lived and taken care of themselves for a very long time, they're going to be very resistant. When you say,
Right.
"Oh, I think something's wrong with you. We need to go to the doctor," they're going to be like, "Ain't nothing wrong with me."
Mm-hmm.
So you want to just be careful with your wording. Just say, hey, mom or dad or whoever it is, your aunt or whoever you're caregiving for. I would love to, go to your doctor and support you. How about, we go together?
Mm-hmm.
So you want to do things where, and you never want to push unless you have to. Sometimes you have to get to the point where you have to emotionally detach because you have to do what's right and what's safe for not only them but for other people involved. Like
Yep.
if they're continuing to drive, and because unfortunately with the state of California, once you receive this diagnosis, the doctor has to report to the Department of Public Health, who then reports to the Department of Motor Vehicle. And then
Mm,
depending on what the doctor requests, they may request that a driver test be done or something. So, and you may have to take the keys. You may have to do what you have to do to keep them safe.
woo!
You're not in the mindset to understand that it's the decision that they're making is not a safe decision.
Right.
And so really just being there to support them, not tell them what to do, find
Mm-hmm.
a way to, and that's why I said that book, The 36-Hour Day, I'm telling you, it talks about how to have the conversations with them, how to get them to make the decision, how to, because you don't want to, because basically they're reverting to like a child. And so
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to treat them like a child. Like I said previously, they have emotions, they have feelings, they're adults, they're grown people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that their brain is being affected.
Right.
But I want to give a shameless plug to this young lady. Her name is Ty, but it's on Instagram. It's her mom's page. It's called I Am Gertrude Jordan. And I will add this in there, but she has been a lifesaver. She is a dementia counselor or coach,
Mm-hmm.
and she has a business, In Case I Forget Consulting, that you can either direct message her, DM her, you can, ask questions, you can connect with her on the website. Her mother has Alzheimer's as well and has gone through the different stages, and she's on Instagram, and I'm telling you, it has literally helped. She's, her and I have had conversations. She's in the Los Angeles area for those who are in, Northern California. And it's just amazing how much help there is out there. They have the Alzheimer's Association.com, who you can call and actually speak to a critical care counselor and get some advice if you don't know what to do, or also reach out to the loved one's doctor.
Right.
Make sure that you have the durable power of attorney, not just over their finances or real estate, but over their mental, their health. And, because there is going to come a point in time where you have to make a decision that they're not able to make.
Yep. Yep.
Those are
100%.
some very important and key things that, I have put in place. Thank God, I have people coaching me and helping me out. And find somebody to talk to. Don't keep or journal, get it
Yes.
out. Get
All
it
of
out.
it.
How you feeling? Get it out.
All of it.
Because mine came in the midst of me launching a business that I'm trying to launch a business in the middle,
Right.
where I could work from home. And, I had started working at a school district because I needed Social Security points because I worked for law enforcement. So I didn't pay into Social Security. And so I had a lot going on, and a lot of things I had to like pump the brakes, like,
Right.
and I had to understand that. And I was feeling some kind of way about it because I was like, wait a minute, here I am trying to do this.
Right.
And I got to stop doing what I want to do to, be available for somebody else. But God just showed me that this is the season He has me, and no time is wasted time. And you
Mm-hmm.
never know who you're going to help by, us sharing our stories, us, sharing the experiences that we've had in our life. We don't know who is going to be helped by that because we were built for community. We're not built for isolation. And that's what the enemy wants to do. The enemy wants us to get alone and make us think that we're by ourselves going through this. And that is a lie from the pit of hell. We need to talk to one another. We need to communicate, and we need to be effective listeners. Because sometimes when we're talking too much and we don't listen, we can't hear.
Exactly. Exactly. Let me tell you, I pinned the comment. Dawn Allen said, "Looking good, Miss Yolando. Yolando is like a warm therapy blanket."
Oh, Dawn.
And I have never, that is 100% factual, okay? That is in the description of before we did this podcast. That's what I was thinking. Like, let me talk about, building a business. Now we've been on here for 100 years, and I usually have a shorter podcast. But how? This is going to be the last question. This is the last question. I know people. I want to respect everyone's time, but I want to say, how did you continue to build your business while worrying about your mother and doing all of this, back and forth to her and that kind of thing? I see you're at your mother's now, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So explain how hard. I know how hard it is, and she lives with me. This lady, my grandmother. Okay, so I know how hard it is, and she just next door. I'm trying to wrap my brain around the fact that you were going 2 hours back and forth to take care of her and build this empire that you are building, and girl, you are building it. So how? Tell me. I'm going to take notes. Tell me.
One thing at a time. Something that has helped me is definitely a planner, scheduling in what I had to get accomplished for the day or what needed to be accomplished for the week. Usually Sundays is my planning day. I've been a little bit lax with that because I'm in the middle of moving and everything. And I was like, oh, shoot. I was like, okay, I'll get back on track once I get moved and everything. But definitely on Sunday, I would sit down and plan for the week, plan the podcast, plan the, post social media posts. I am doing, working because I still have, bills to pay. And so I had to just plan everything out. And like I said, getting up in that morning and have that routine, because I actually gained back some of the weight that I lost from stress eating. So really understanding, like, what was my pillars? My first pillar is God. I mean, you and I are in the same mastermind. My first pillar is God. So I had to find because I was just getting up in the morning and getting out of bed and just off running, doing things. And I said, nope, I have to get back to my quiet time. I get up in my gratitude journal. I write out how I'm feeling, what's going on, what I'm experiencing, because you never know. You might write a book later. You can have your journals to go back to. And that was a shameless plug. And, and then exercise, my health, because if I'm not healthy, I'm not going to be able to help her. So I had to really focus back on my health. So getting back into eating the good nutrition, drinking my water, taking my supplements, doing what I knew that I needed to do for myself, and then connecting with family or connecting with others. I have lots of friends and family members, making sure that I'm reaching out. And so that has helped me to stay track. Like I said, sometimes I'll get the distractions and I may be off for a couple of days, maybe even a week or two. But eventually it's like, no, I have to stop, calm down, think about what's going on. Where am I at? Where do I want to be? And how do I get there? And so that constant reminder and being around community, being around an environment of like-minded individuals that can hold you up,
Mm-hmm.
women in my life that have prayed for me and lift me up and are available. And we need that, especially as women. We need that community where we're being supported, we're being encouraged, we're being lifted up and made to feel like we're needed and we're wanted and we're appreciated. And we as women have been lacking in that area. We need to do better. So.
Amen. Amen. Yes, I echo everything you said. I'm so grateful for you and our community, our mastermind. Like, y'all don't even know. Like, just needed every having something to focus on outside of the situation that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Is so healing for me. Like, to still feel like even if I'm having a bad day at home, that I'm useful somewhere else is so healing in a way people probably don't understand. Like, uh, you know, I work on myself daily and I pray all things will be added to you. You focus on God. If that's a pillar of me, my life, like I'm a God.
Yes.
I will always be a God girl. And it's so true. It even if it is the fact that like focusing on something else will let you see that the rest of your life will and can come together. That's what it is. Like whatever it is to you, if it's not God, if it's something, focus on something that's really going to bring you peace.
Mm-hmm.
And get into a community that is going to rally behind you. Prayer changes things.
Yes, it does.
It just changes things. It might, like, if you're not a believer, it might just be the energy. If people tell you like I'm sending you good energy, like that's a real thing. Human beings, we are energy. So what you focus on expands.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on what is going to be better in your life, building better relationships, businesses, building your mind up to withstand hard things, because we will be going through hard things until the
That's
end.
right. That's
That
right.
you never. Jim Rohn says, don't don't pray to be for things to be easier. Pray for things for you to get
For
better.
you to, yes.
Yeah. So I every day am just like, Lord, just make me better. Like, however I have to overcome whatever I have to overcome. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let me just get through it, and oh, excuse me. Let me just get through it unscathed. Like, I've decided to be this positive person. I've decided to include positive therapy blankets like Yolando in my life.
Okay.
Like,
And shout out to Don and Sonia, because both of them have saw like a post I made on Facebook, and they'll call me like, "Are you okay?"
oh yes.
Well, yeah, that community is very, very important. I appreciate the community. I appreciate you. Every time, like I said, a lot of times I look at your smile. Your smile just speaks volumes, and I'm telling you, you don't know what your smile does to people. It literally brightens their day. So, don't be covering that up. Don't be covering that up. No, whatever you do, never stop smiling. Because I'm telling you, I have come on social media and maybe having a rough day, and I'll get to your page and see that smile, and that smile makes me have a better day. So you never stop smiling. You are an amazing young woman through everything that you've been through, and you are definitely an inspiration to many, myself and to many others. So, girl,
Thank you so much. That is sweet. Well, we're on it there. I've got all the warm and fuzzies now. I'm done. That's the end. It's drops mic. Okay, thank you so much. So thanks everyone for coming out today. I appreciate it. So many comments. I'm sorry I didn't get to all of them, but we have been reading them, and just I appreciate taking your time out to be here with us. And thank you so much, Yolanda, for just even waking up early and hanging out with us for a little bit. Like, the things you say, you have no idea. The things you say are just, they sink deep into the soul. Like, you just have a way about you. And I hope that you are so successful and make so much money and change so many lives, because you have it. Whatever it is, you have it. Okay. So
thank you. Can I say one last thing? Because I forgot. I need to give a shameless plug. This week I was supposed to be in Manteca at my church for a vacation Bible school. And so because I wasn't able to be there, Walter Reed is taking my place. So it is a lot. I love dealing with the children, but they are at Vacation Bible School. So thank you, Walter. He told me better, you shout him out. Thank you, Walter, for standing in the gap. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day, a great week. See you next Monday. We love you very much. Bye.